Hello, beach friends. Today we will explore stunning Lovers Key State Park, one of Florida's hidden gems. And I planned my trip to be at low tide in hopes of making my goal of finding beach treasures a little easier. Now that summer's coming, the shells tend to hide, and I will tell you, I was worried for a hot second that I wouldn't find anything, but my luck was pretty good this day, and I did manage to find lots of great treasures, including one specific seashell I was really hoping to find. In this video, I will tell you all about my theories to finding shells. I will identify all the shells I pick up, and we will have the opportunity to say hi to a few snail friends as well. And if that isn't enough, we're going to get a chance to admire my favorite shorebird, the black skimmer. So if you're ready to explore beautiful Lovers Key State Park, let's go to the beach. Here we are at beautiful Lovers Key State Park. Plenty of parking. It was only a $4 admission fee. Quick tram ride and you're here at the beach. Now, I planned my trip specifically to be at low tide. So the tide will be going out the entire time we're here. Feels like 98, but it's only 91, so no big deal. Frankly, it's my kind of weather. I love it. Love the heat. So that's the old rack line up there, the older shells. I'm going to be down closer to the water, kind of looking for the newer shells, or at least that's kind of how I tell myself that that's where the good stuff is going to be. And I couldn't find it. And I went in the water and I walked quite a while. So I'm heading to the south end of the island. I figure good stuff will be there. Along the way, I'm going to pick up a little bit of driftwood. Check out this upper rack line. You never know. I mean, I do tend to at least take a peek and then I go, okay, there's nothing here, and I go back by the water. But look, the first turtle nest of the season. So yes, here in Lovers Key State Park, they do track the turtles. You'll notice that there is mesh over the turtle nest. You can also get a sponsorship to the turtle nest, which is kind of fun. But the mesh is there to protect those baby turtles. And look at the view, being born, crawling out of the sand, going into the water, just gorgeous. So that is a little jingle. Jingles are they're pretty common, and so they're going to be out there pretty often, which is why I don't pay a lot of attention to them. Oh, but the nutmegs, yeah, I'm going to pick them up every single time I see them. So that is a common nutmeg. Pretty good condition common nutmeg, if I do say so myself. And where there's one, perhaps there's more. So yeah, on a day like today, it really kind of slows down, and I appreciate every single treasure I find. This is fantastic. This is one of those ribbed cantharus shells. I'm making extra sure that there's nobody hiding inside. It is that orange variety. Oh, beautiful. I love those orange ribbed cantharus. I do love a good lettered olive too. So this is a beautiful, pointy, glittery, lettered olive. Awesome. Now, pen shells, I honestly don't pay a lot of attention to. I apologize. I have y'all asking me, what are they? This is a stiff pen shell. There's like 3 different ones that we kind of find. I pay no attention to any of them. So I'm sorry. They are out there. They just don't really appeal to me. And check out that olive real quickly. A little turret. Yeah, a little bit older shells. All right. Figured while I was down there, let me take a peek. So let's see. What else might delight me today? Oh, a rough scallop. Oh, that's terrific. With its little anterior wings on the bottom there. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. So that is called a rough scallop because the texture of the scallop is actually a little rough. You can even see it was shiny below the water. So that's another lettered olive. Beautiful pointy thing. Yeah, I can't resist them. More jingles. So yeah, they are definitely out here. They do come in, they can be orange, black, gray. Apparently the ones today, it was kind of like light colored Jingle Day. Is that another nutmeg? Yay! So, okay, now I'm having to work a lot harder, but the shells are here. Another terrific looking nutmeg. Now, kitten paws. These are also relatively common, and I guess from someone who's trying to ID shells, these can really trip you up because they're all different shapes. Sometimes they've only got 6 or 8 paws. Sometimes they'll only have 5. Sometimes they're going to have way more than that. Sometimes they're double stacked. So it really just kind of depends. It was one of those things. This particular shell can look very, very different from particular shell to shell. So all of those are kitten paws. And it's the sandbars I like to see. So the tide's going out. Yeah, hopefully exposing more beach to go hunting. Oh, a sand dollar. Yeah, that's another thing. I cannot resist picking up sand dollars either. Maybe once I've picked up like 30 in the same day, I can start passing them up. But nope, I will never pass up that first beautiful, intact, 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. Awesome. Oh, broad-ribbed cardita. This one's kind of like an ombre color. They come in kind of variety. This particular one, like I said, is more of like an ombre. And they can also be kind of spotted. These are the shell that'll trip me up. I'll think it's an alphabet cone, but it's like, haha, just kidding. It's a broad-ribbed cardita. And I'll go, okay, I like you anyway, so I'll put you in my shell bag. Okay, so when I see conditions like this, I start seeing things kind of like floating in the water like this. I think Wenzel traps. So I look for bubbles, and then I get down there. Are there going to be tiny shells here? All right, that is a little Florida fighting conch. So yeah, I just went and kind of grabbed a whole handful, and then I didn't find that to be terribly easy. So I got rid of all the stuff we didn't really care about. So we got some coquinas on top, some bubbles, one little drill, and then that little imposter I just touched. That's a fly speck seraph. So that is not a Wenzel trap, nor is this worm snail. There were a lot of worm snails on this particular day. Yeah. So you'll see at the end of the video, I'll show you all the things I collected, and I picked up a lot of worm snails. That is a dark seraph and another worm snail. So I'm looking for tinies. I'm kind of hoping, oh, lovely. That is a button snail, or a button shell. No, it's a button snail, and that would give me the button shell, I suppose. Oh yeah, yep, tiny. This looks great for tinies. Where am I? Okay, I'm kind of at the point, almost at the very, very bottom of Lover's Key. All right, I remember this. Look at this thing. It's so tiny, but it was a bright orange color. And yeah, it's so tiny. Its top is kind of flat. That's the way they start out. Their tops are kind of a little bit flat. And so that shell would have grown into a bigger horse conch. Look at this tiny little top shell. And then another top shell. Oh, that's little tinies. All right, what also? All right, that is a blurry top snail. And a marginella. I believe that is an Atlantic marginella. Oh, that's terrific. Yeah, hunting tinies is really fun. Some augers, so some common augers. Oh, a little keyhole limpet. Look at that. All right, it's chipped a little. That's okay. Cayenne keyhole limpet. And a sharp ribbed drill. So those little, I like those too. Those little sharp ribbed drills. Terrific. I get them mixed up with a thick lipped drill. Oh, it's so pretty. So I've made it to the very bottom of the island of Lover's Key. And while it's a little harder, oh, tinted cantharus. So the shells, I'm working a lot harder to find these shells, and that's okay. Change is good. An alphabet cone. Look at that. Very desirable collectible shell. Yeah, let's rinse you off. Let's take a little bit better look at you. Give you some attention, alphabet cone. So I'm not really seeing too many patterns. Yeah, it's kind of worn. So it's not in the best shape, but still a good find. Yeah, I don't see any letters or anything. It was a vexing shell. All right, so this is a mossy arc. It looks like a weird turkey wing, and apparently it gets its name because somebody thought it kind of looked like rocks covered with moss. I don't think so, but kind of a neat shell nonetheless. Here's another little horse conch. We had found that tiny, tiny orange one. This one's a wee bit bigger. But yep, that is another lovely little Florida horse conch. Now there's a turkey wing. So that's the one that kind of looks like the weird mossy arc. And that kind of looks like a turkey wing. I get it. This shell is also called a zigzag arc. Cool. Oh, and this is a great egret hanging out on the bottom of the island here. Yep, awesome. So this part used to be, you really couldn't get through here before Hurricane Ian came, and Hurricane took care of that right quick. Just kind of blew out all of the dead trees and everything. So there's not too much left down here. You used to not be able to kind of explore this part of the island, but now you can. And I'm looking for this. I'm looking for some crown conchs. That is a living critter. Sorry, friend, I'll put you back. So, yep, I'm transitioned over to the muddy part of my trip. I'm going to be looking for crown conchs. But along the way, look at that, a hinged rose petal talon. Oh, that's beautiful. Yep, you will find those. Fort Myers Beach, apparently Lover's Key has those rose petal talons. So here we are, just kind of creeping around the mangroves. That's where these crown conchs, they like the mud. So that's where I kind of, in my mind, if the critters are going to be here, clearly there should be some shells. So that is a critter. Yep. Alive and well. And so I try not to disturb anybody if I can. I try yeah, you're alive too. Okay, so I kind of just take a peek, looking for some empty shells. So I'll leave you fellas alone. Leave you do your little crown conch thing. There we go. Now that I can see the empty aperture. Awesome. So that is a crowned conch. I'm super excited. I know what I love about these shells is that they're like, I mean, that's a hot mess. I mean, that's just all mud and muck. But underneath they're spiky and beautiful. I just rubbed off a little bit of that slime. Oh, I cannot wait to clean that up. Awesome. All right, what about you? Oh, critter. Sorry, critter. Okay, we'll just kind of tuck you back in. That I can tell is a critter, so I see that's alive. So I look at the front of the shell and I look for the animal, and if I see its little siphon kind of poking out, I leave it alone. But if it's buried, I check. Now here, I found some egg casings from the crown conch, those little coin looking things. This is a better example. So those little like discs, those are little egg casings for the crown conch. Not surprising considering we're really in crown conch territory at this point. Now these two critters, they could be copulating. That is how those critters reproduce. So it is quite possible. Here's one just doing its thing. Just sliming along. Oh, they're so cool. I love their spikes. Sometimes they'll have like a second row of spikes. Sometimes the spikes curl in. Sometimes they point out. These snails and shells are just really fun for me. Actually, I just really, really like them. Plus the whole transformation. You find them and they're like really, really gross, and you bring it home and they're awesome. Critter, sorry, buddy. All right, now here's the other difficult thing. There's no rack line. So there's no like particular area. You're just kind of walking around very, very slippery mud. And you kind of hope you just find a good spot. So that's what I'm doing, just being very careful, walking around some slippery mud. Oh, empty. Yes. All right. You got some good spikes, got some color there. Yeah. All right, now that's what I'm looking for. Nice looking crown conch. Awesome. Okay. Oh, I see an aperture. Excellent. All right, here's number 3, right? Is that the third one? Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, see the spikes are a little bit, they're kind of curling. Oh, and I kind of see a second row. Oh, yeah. Yeah, really happy. And now check this out. This would drive me bananas. So this is also a rose petal talon. They come in white. So in addition to the pink ones, they can also be white, which for me was so frustrating because as I'm trying to learn shells, I have to remember their names, what they shape, what they look like, how many different colors they come in. So anyway, we got that sorted out, the rose petal talon. It's kind of pretty, even though it's kind of muddy and mucky. So yeah, that's what you kind of have to do for the crown conch sometimes. Kind of got to get in that mud. Oh, another empty one. Excellent. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Where the critters are, in theory, there could be a couple of those shells. Great. Another crown conch. Awesome. Oh, another hinged, but this time we know it's a rose petal talon. Oh, look at the two different colors of that. Oh, that's beautiful. Yep, I did clean that up real nice, and that sits in my special shell box right now. Now, under this quahog, look at this. So this is a jingle, and normally we find the upper valve, which we saw a little earlier, and those upper pieces have broken loose from the bottom valve, which has a hole in it. Now, when the animal's alive, the animal attaches itself to hard substrates like rocks and other shells and stuff by using its byssus threads, which pass through that hole in the bottom of the shell and then onto the rock or whatever it's trying to attach itself to. So we don't normally find the piece with the hole in it. We usually just find the top. But when I find that bottom, I think that's pretty cool. So that's what a hinged jingle shell looks like. This I know is empty because I see a hole in it. Oh, darn it. Yeah, there's a hole. Oh, hello, pea crab. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, buddy. So I disturbed the pea crab. I'm not going to collect that shell anyway. Keep looking. Keep looking through the mud. Because I bet you there's some other really gorgeous seashells in here somewhere. Plus, maybe we'll get a couple more of those rose petal talons. Who knows? Who knows what else is in here? Actually, usually sunray Venus clams. That'll be another clam shell that kind of hangs out with the crown. Yeah, all right. That was nothing. Not that. All right, it's a shell. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh, I got a good feeling about that one. I'm just happy it's empty. And a lot of times too, I mean, you really got to go home and bleach it in acid before you really kind of see what that shell's going to look like. Oh, very exciting. Yeah, it's nothing. I turn over a lot of lumps kind of looking for these shells. And I try not to disturb too many critters. Yes. Yes. Oh, look at the color on that one. Oh, yeah. Yep. That is going to be another fabulous crown conch. And one more? No, that's alive. Well, I think at this point I have enough crown conchs to keep me entertained when I get home to clean. So I think we're going to go back over to the beach and see what's going on over there. See if we can maybe get some more of those tinies. But quickly, I did see one more cool critter. A horseshoe crab. Now, horseshoe crabs are often referred to as living fossils because they've existed for more than 450 million years. It's a tiny one. I stuck my finger in there just so you can see the size. And also, they're not true crabs. Despite their name, horseshoe crabs are not true crabs. They actually belong to a class of animals closer to arachnids such as spiders and scorpions. Go figure. That is a little spiny jewel box. And I mean, it is a little spiny jewel box with this little horn, little unicorn shell. So cute. All right, back to seashells. Would you look at this? This is a Sanibel turrid, and I have yet to find one on Sanibel. I have found them now on Lover's Cay, Marco Island, probably Dickman's, Key Wading. Not on Sanibel, though. Go figure. A Sanibel turrid. So as much as I really am bummed that the hurricane came through, it really did clean up the bottom of this island very nicely. It's really, really beautiful, which kind of gets me into that warm, fuzzy, feeling so grateful mood. And that's when I start thinking about my Patreons, people who choose to monetarily support me and help me to continue to make videos like this. And for you, I'm going to clean up those crown conchs and I'm posting that over on Patreon. So if you want to see how lovely those are, maybe consider going on over to Patreon and signing up. We are not even close to being done yet. We have many more shells to find. This is a bay scallop. We don't get that many scallops. We found a rough scallop. There's calico scallops. And then this one, the bay scallop. Awesome. Oh, and another nutmeg. Terrific. Isn't that funny the way I kind of like walk through that part of the beach to the end and then I walk back and I start finding those shells again? Like, what else should I find? I should find another sand dollar. And what else should I find? Oh, a little drill. So when you kind of get down, yes, I am looking for Wenzel traps. No, that other little shell is a fly speck cerith. But yeah, it's really kind of ground up pieces of shells. Yes, every now and then there will be an intact shell, like that little drill. All right, 2 little drills here. Oh, that's that's an oyster drill. Not sure what that other little one was, but there are little shells amongst the kind of chewed up stuff. And I feel like this would be like a neon sign going, look for Wenzel traps here, because you have the ground up bits. I don't see any bubbles. So is that the problem here? There's no bubbles, and so that means there's not going to be any Wenzel traps. But I did find one of those rice olives. Yeah, I can't believe how tiny they are. So there's like micro shells too. Yeah, my eyesight is not that good, but I can at least find those little rice olives. Look, critters! So we can really kind of see what those crown conchs look like. These fellas, I suppose, are going for the Gulf side. They're out of the mud, as we can clearly see. Now, yeah, let's take a look at you. Now, these are one of the more, dare I say, friendly critters I've picked up. Okay, so the reason I really picked it up is I want to see its head. Okay, I think I kind of see maybe an eye stalk or something under there. The thing sticking out of the front of the shell is the siphon. And then underneath there, kind of see maybe an eye stalk. Maybe. So that's what I'm trying to see. Oh, hello, little critter. Isn't that wild, the way that it kind of swings its shell around? Now, something else I noticed, they don't go in reverse very well. So I'm watching this critter kind of trying to back up. And then I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they don't have eyes behind their head. They only want to walk forward. So yeah, he or she had a problem moving backward. And I didn't really get a good look. I didn't really get a good look at its head. So, all right, enough, my friend. Thank you so very much. Oh, sorry. Sorry. There you go. No harm, no foul. Thank you for letting us take a look. I really just wanted to kind of see your beautiful face. Now look at this one. There was another one a little bit more down, and I could not resist because it is huge. So there's another one over there. But this one is huge. Come on, buddy. Let's get a good look at you. Now, because I know they can't go backwards so easily, I'm kind of putting it in the front of my hand, hoping it will, approach me. We can really kind of see it move around and maybe even see its head. So watching like the undulating of the animal is pretty neat. Just looking to see if I'll see the kind of a head pop out of the bottom. Now, the way it was moving reminded me of the way that a moon snail moves. Oh, like alien, yet graceful. I just think they're so cool. So this particular animal I would assume it's pretty old. It's pretty big. Pretty impressive. Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick hi. There you go, my friend. Very cool. Very cool experience with those crown conchs. And this one, I'm just leaving that alone. We already said hi to 2 of them. You get to stay right where you are. You're big, you're awesome. Crown conch. Well, that was really cool. I love when I get to see the critters along with the actual seashells. The tide has gone out, and so all those little shells are kind of left up here. A little moon snail. Oh, terrific. Yeah, it's almost intact. Okay, so this has a drill hole in it that was created by another moon snail. It is countersunk. So all moon snails will drill that countersunk hole. Another nutmeg. I should have just hung out here, right? Just picking up nutmegs? All right, not really. Wouldn't have got all those crown conchs. So we got nutmeg and a little moon snail. What else? What other tiny shells is this beach going to give me? All right, that's not that tiny. That is a top snail. And those are cool because there's nacre underneath them, that mother of pearl underneath that, or kind of like that gold color. So it's a top snail. Oh, and a beach bowl. I've been picking up some small shells, so I might as well get hold of a little beach bowl. This was more like a beach cup, but gorgeous Atlantic giant cockle. Awesome. Oh, and some more critters. So we have a slipper snail on top of a live fighting conch. So these both would be considered gastropods. They only have one shell, a stomach foot, gastropod. So 2 living critters. Yeah, we're going to leave those here at the beach. So I was a little worried that we might not find anything, but it really turned out to be a fabulous afternoon. And I think it is high time for me to be quiet and for you to enjoy some beach time. So yes, as summer marches toward us, the shells will get a little bit harder and harder to find. And I guess I just say, look harder. They're out there. They are absolutely there. Just get a little more creative. I know, definitely go at low time. I'm probably going to need to go snorkeling some, but I really enjoyed my time here at Lover's Key. And can I tell you, my favorite part of the day is just about to happen. So black skimmers are these awesome shorebirds that I am never able to record because they're very shy. And, well, I call them shy, but actually, if you think about it, they skim for their food. So they're going to just skim the top of the water with their lower beak underneath just the surface to try to get fish. And it makes sense that they wouldn't go near people or other birds because that's probably not where fish are. So it's not going to expend its energy if it's not actually going to get a fish. So these black skimmers have a scissor-like bill. Their lower bill is very thin and much longer than the upper bill. So I'm just pausing it so you can see. Thank you, Ginger. Look at the bill. Look at how much bigger the lower bill is. And so that is what they have just below the surface of the water. And they're trying to feel for fish, and they will grab fish. They are year-round Florida residents, and they nest from about May through August on beaches and on gravel rooftops, often with least terns. Now, the black skimmer, unfortunately, it is a species of special concern because of disappearing nesting habitat. So if these guys are nesting on beaches and the beaches are eroding, they have nowhere to nest. So I think they're beautiful. I just love watching them. And that was really, what a rewarding day. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed your time with me as well. And maybe you learned a little something. So I did find a little bit of garbage. The scale couldn't decide whether it was 0.95 or 1 full ounce. I just went with 0.95, which means my total is a little over 51 pounds of garbage I've removed from the beach. And look at all the other things. I told you there were a lot of worm snails. Now, my sand dollar broke, but not to worry. We're going to look at the inside of that in just a second. I got a turkey wing, some mossy arcs, a Florida fighting conch, a couple of scallops, a bay scallop and some of those calico scallops, rose petal talons, and a white one. We got a yellow prickly cockle, Florida prickly cockle. There's some horse conch, lightning whelk, top snail, alphabet cone, a whole bunch of tinies, moon snail, button snails. We got sharp rib drill, the bubble, eastern drill, the cantharus, both ribbed and tinted. And there's some other tinies in that little beach cup there. Sunray Venus clam, broad rib carditas, kitten paws jingles, lettered olives. We got augers, fly speck serifs, the rough scallop, the Holy cow, the nutmegs and then the crown conchs. Patreons, we're going to head over there to clean up the crown conchs. Everybody else, let's take a peek inside a sand dollar. So my sand dollar broke, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of show you what's on the inside. They're called doves. So there's 5 little pieces, and sand dollars eat sand. And so it's not surprising there'll be a lot of sand in there. So I rinsed this out and I found the 4 other doves. They are part of the grinding mechanism. They're the mouth. And so these little doves, that's what they look like. It's part of the sand dollar's mouth. And there's a couple of different little poems that go along with this. I like this one. Now break the center open, and here you will release the 5 white doves awaiting to spread goodwill and peace. So I like that little saying. That is what is on the inside of a sand dollar. So that was really fun. Lover's Key was way more fun than I expected. Honestly, it was really, really cool. Next week, we're going to Sanibel. It was also really cool. I will, believe me, give you all the details. It'll be super fun. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.